Hello and welcome back, everyone, to our 6-week Skillful Living program. My name is Venerable Tarpa, and today is our 6th week and 12th and final class of our Skillful Living program. Oh, it's a bit sad, although we will be continuing to practice together for the rest of the week. In today's class, we'll be learning the SBT practice of shining and engage in a short meditation. But like always, let's take a moment to review what we learned in yesterday's class. Yesterday was a fun class. We addressed the pinnacle of all questions. What is the meaning of life? And for those science fiction fans that are fans of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, the answer is 42. Or if you're a Monty Python fan, you can watch that movie to find the answer for yourself. But we talked about the importance of understanding this question and that it's what establishes our model of reality, right? The reason why you're here and what you do with your life really is front and center into your perspective and orientation towards life. We also explored the Buddhist view of the nature of the universe, and that Buddhists assert that consciousness only exists in a mind, only in sentient life. Therefore, there is no ultimate or universal meaning of life. We ourselves choose the meaning and purpose of our lives, and that our existence in each moment is the true miracle of our existence. We also learn the Buddha asserted awakening as the true consummation of our lives. Does anybody have any questions about yesterday's class? Miss Wamo.
Can you just quickly define consummation? I have something here about equals fulfillment. Was that how you would describe it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a wedding is considered a consummation. Well, the honey that part of the honeymoon, sorry. A monk shouldn't tell that story. But it's the final completion, fulfillment of something. Let's say the consummation of a big feast is a big full round belly at the end. So today we've been meditating on the meaning of life in our daily meditations, and a powerful topic. We had all kinds of fascinating thoughts about it. Anybody have any thoughts that came up in your personal practices or pondering it over, sleeping on it and pondering it through the day? Is everybody kind of comfortable with the meaning of life? Are you starting to feel that freedom that Jan was talking about yesterday? Where at first, the idea of well, there is no universal uh, meaning of life, it can be a little scary. We're all brought up in the West to kind of have a notion of such a thing. But then when you get comfortable with it, you realize the freedom we're talking about, that you in every moment of your life have the freedom to determine whatever you want to do. And that meaning, that purpose can fluctuate. You can have a different one in every moment. You're free to create and dance and sing, eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Okay, enough of that. How about this one? Is it liberating to think that you have nothing to prove or validate? I think that was an important part of the teaching yesterday. We talked about like a a little bird or a flower. They exist with no expectation of needing to validate their existence like human beings do, right? It's not enough to be human. At least to our parents, it's not, right? We have to be exceptional humans. We have to, We're pushed to have some kind of unique skill, to get a good education, to be a bit better than the other humans. Every human's trying to be a bit better than the rest of the humans. But it's really true that humans, this is a social condition that doesn't exist in the objective world, does it? We create it. The idea of being born as these incredible creatures that we are, top of the food chain, as far as we know, the most intelligent beings in the universe. And that's not enough. You
Yeah.
also have to have some kind of amazing occupation and a certain amount of money and a certain kind of family and live in the right place and have the right friends. And oh, it's exhausting, isn't it? So imagine when you just set that all aside and you recognize your true value. You recognize how extraordinary you are as you, and nothing needs to be changed. Imagine how life then changes for you, right? And then anything you do, again, you're just free to do. You do what you want. You create. You sing, you dance. Maybe your goal in life is just to enjoy friends every day for the rest of It's absolutely freeing. We talk about a lot of our programs, and also I often um, define awakening as to awaken to our true value, true potential, and true nature. And this is what we're talking about when you recognize how extraordinary you are just for being, just existing. That's what we're talking about. And when you realize that, your life profoundly changes. Okay, I'll move on. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so today, everything we learned in the Skillful Living program up to date comes together in our last practice of shining. So, textbook presentation, shining can be understood as the outpouring or radiating of our goodness, our beauty, our joy, our skills, our talents, our potential, and our appreciation. A practice that encompasses all that we do. Shining is the intentional expression of our benevolent intentions, our choices, our activities, our care, precision, creativity, and curiosity. It's the flair and style we show in our work and play, as well as pertaining to the quality of our efforts. It's the love and kindness we show towards others. It's the enthusiasm, vitality, and confidence through which we engage positively with the world. And it's our awe and wonder for life and living. Oh, Wang Mo, can you keep people muted that need to be muted? Thank you. I'm hearing I'm hearing yacht noises from Simon. Thank you. Um, we shine in our work. We shine in our interactions and understanding, in our kindness, our humor, in our fun. We can shine as artists, as teachers, craftsmen, entrepreneurs, family members, friends, members of our community, or simply as conscientious human beings. We can shine through our art, gardening, cooking, crafts, sports, activism, our self improvement and care for others. In other words, we can shine in everything that we do. Oh, isn't that lovely? The felt experience of shining feels warm and expansive, as if being a shining sun, a feeling that extends and radiates beyond our physical boundaries, a spacious state of joyful contentment imbued with a soft confidence and heightened and peripheral sense of awareness. Worries and petty concerns begin to dissolve as our benevolent true nature arises and radiates. This is an experience that is rejuvenating, energizing, and life affirming, filled with hope, enthusiasm, and positivity. An experience in which all of the potential of life is revealed and made accessible to us. Tarpa, that's a pretty big claim. Now, are you going to be able to deliver on that? Ultimately, the aim is to cultivate shining into a consistent mental state, becoming an aspect of our default mindset where the mind naturally abides. We've been talking about that throughout the teachings. The choice and ability to shine are always present, always. However, shining is only possible through a positive, open, self confident attitude without expectation or reciprocation or reward. We all naturally shine at different times, right? Doesn't everybody shine on their birthdays when they're singing the song and the cake and candles are in front of you? If you're not too terribly embarrassed by it. We shine when we win at things, right? Or achieve. We shine during our first kiss. We shine when we feel attractive, right? When you get all dolled up for a big event, everyone shines on their wedding day, right? Or how about the birth of a child? Musicians and performers shine, of course, when they're on stage. But I think the place we shine the most is when we're in love, right? You can literally see it on people's faces, right? If it's someone you know, you can see it and you, hey, what's going on with you? Something's different. What is it? You can see it on their face. And so this is called shining. I also think about shining in the old movies when they were casting the actors and actresses. You know, they would say, "I don't know what she's got, but she's got it." You know, they always talk about great actors having it. Well, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about that they just naturally shine. There's a magnetism to them, right? So this is shining. Um, and some people shine in everything they do, you know, um, possessing that natural radiance, that presence, charisma, or magnitude. It's important to understand that shining is more than just radiating positivity, goodness, and beauty, or shining is not just being nice. On the contrary, shining includes radiating all of our virtuous qualities, including our wisdom, our maturity, our stability, integrity, our courage and strength. You can shine with determination, resilience, and self discipline, as well as radiating our our softness that we learned, clarity, objectivity, equanimity, and spaciousness. So in the text, I mentioned the origin of the practice, and I think it's always a fun topic to get back to. So the way this program came about, I was a new bodhisattva. I had taken bodhisattva vows, and for you, those of you that know, it's a Mahayana event tradition. Um, in which you take a vow to awaken for the benefit of all beings. But it's very much related to altruism and dedicating your life to benefiting others. And I was like all things, I was a bit exuberant, and I kind of set, I set out to change the world, and I would do silly things like I kept supplies in my car, in my trunk, like gas can and things like that. And I would leave whenever I had to go somewhere, I would leave 10 or 15 minutes early just in case somebody needed help on the way. I was like super, I wasn't a monk, so I was super bodhisattva out to save the world. And of course, it's a beautiful intention, right? But when I was mentioning it to the Sangha, and when my teacher at the time, uh, Kempo Sonam, when he heard about it, he chuckled, and I was kind of perplexed by his chuckle, and I asked him if he could explain it. Was I doing something wrong? And he explained to me. He says, "Oh, bodhisattvas don't really expend that kind of energy," as he put it. Um, I'm trying to think. I have it written down. I was trying to think of the actual language he uses. Oh, they don't possess such a direct, contrived, transactional intention. I really like the terminology, right? But generally, that's what we do, right? We expel this kind of direct effort as human beings when we want things to happen, and kind of contrived. They're not natural. Like I was setting out to be a superhero to people, and then it also has this idea of transactional, that even if we're not asking for something in return, we usually are demanding the proper reaction to our goodness, right? Like if you've ever helped a homeless person and giving them a few dollars, and maybe one doesn't say thank you, we're quite upset about it. Hey, he didn't say thank you. So, we are quite transactional in the way we do things. Um, but he said, Tarpa, bodhisattvas, they don't act like that. Bodhisattvas simply shine, radiating their innate goodness, their wisdom and skill in everything they do. Meaning that bodhisattvas abide in presence, and when needed, they intuitively and spontaneously act. So I was quite blown away by that. I thought that was amazing. And so I started to practice it instead of being that over exuberant Bodhisattva. I learned how to lay back and just, in a sense, make myself available to the world, right? And waiting for situations to arise that needed my attention. And so as I practiced it, I found it amazingly effective. And then in Buddhism, I started noticing more and more references to the word shining. And in fact, I've gotten that a habit of collecting them these days. But terms that the Buddha used, or their translations, but nevertheless, terms like shining contentment, right? We talked about contentment and happiness, right? Shining contentment, shining bliss. And the Buddha in one sutra has instructions for us to radiate our benevolent qualities in the six directions. The six directions meaning the whole world, in every direction, all over the world. And so shining with our altruistic qualities to all corners of the world. So at some point, I decided to turn this into a actual practice, and I refined it into the practice I'm going to be sharing with you now. So I hope that's inspiring. Does anybody have any questions before we get into the actual practice? Can you envision a time that you shined, or that you do shine? I think Jan, it's when she's handing out figs to all her neighbors. Jan, please share.
Well, this isn't really a time that I was just, it always makes me think of one time I was on vacation somewhere down in Central America. I can't remember
Oh,
where. And we went to a park that was built on the slopes of a volcano. And when we pulled into the parking lot, the volcano started going boom, boom, boom. And I was like scared to death. And I was like, we need to get in the car and, get back in the car and head down the mountain. But then I looked around and everybody else was just walking around calmly. Well, it turned out that the volcano makes those noises all the time and it doesn't mean anything. And that to me, that's kind of like shining. Those other people may not have been shining, but that's how it communicates itself. That they were shining their comfort and their confidence that the volcano wasn't erupting. So anyway, that's just what I always think about when I think of shining.
Oh, that's lovely. Hey, how about going to a kid's concert or recital, and when they get on stage, you just watch them shine, don't you? The whole world's looking at them. Anybody else? What are some times that we shine? Oh, Pasang, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I'm retired now, but every time I got on that stage and into the role as Big T, I really shined.
Yeah, those concerts, right? How about like
Mm.
the ones you see like Freddie Mercury
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Wimbledon concert, where
Mm.
just everybody's roaring and he's just standing there. So it is something that all human beings do, don't they? I think I shine a little bit at all my teachings. I think when I come on here, I shine. I think a lot of you shine when you come here. As Buddhists, we shine with our Buddhist qualities, our calmness, our patience. Think about how much you shine with your friends who your friends know you're Buddhist and they kind of see that calmness and they bring their problems to you. We shine in very subtle ways, but this can be amplified and you could and then of course the great shiners, the Dalai Lama. My goodness, he fills a stadium with light. Thich Nhat Hanh, all these wonderful, wonderful teachers. The Buddha must have just been the brightest star imaginable to be in his presence, right? I've seen ancient photos of everyone wearing sunglasses, all his monks, those blind people sunglasses, so it doesn't get damaged. Okay, back to the teachings. Hey, the practice of shining incorporates all of what we've learned thus far in the Skillful Living program. Those related to qualities like goodness, happiness, acceptance, appreciation, understanding, and letting go. Isn't it an interesting thought? Shining as in letting go. That's quite amazing. Meaning, you'll learn how to shine with all of the practices that you've learned so far and all that you do. A good place to start practicing shining is to focus on the qualities that you're already shining in, your skills, your talents, your traits, um, those things you shine in. How about joy, humor, passion? Amala's a painter, her to shine through her passion of her work. Our care for others. You can shine as just a beautiful person who loves your friends. Um, we can shine in all of our talents. And with practice, shining arises spontaneously and effortlessly as an expression of our true nature. I do believe our true nature has that expression of shining to it. The more we practice and familiarize ourselves with shining, the more comfortable, naturally, and consistent it becomes. At some point, after considerable practice, shining, as we mentioned, can become a constant state of mind, becoming your default mindset, your style attitude, where the mind continuously returns to and naturally abides. So, with all that said, I'd like to do a short meditation to run you through actually how we shine, if that's okay with everybody. So, you can just sit right where you are. This is informal. But let's begin by muting our audio, taking our seats, and getting comfortable. Your hands could be placed on your thighs. Close your eyes, begin to relax while breathing naturally through your nose. Sit in a comfortable yet alert posture, as if being drawn upwards by a string attached to the crown of your head, while also rolling your hips forward, accentuating the gentle inward curve of your lower back. Now bring your full attention to the breath while doing your best to sustain it. And how about we do just a few minutes of calm abiding to calm ourselves down? And now, while stabilized in meditation, I'd like you to bring your awareness from your head down into your body, joining the mind and body at the chest, and creating a felt sensation of the union of mind and body, a full body awareness. One encompassing feeling that encompasses our mind and body. And next, I want you to incorporate into that feelings of goodness, compassion, and joy. Now simply sit with it while intensifying and deepening the feeling. Begin to expand the feeling, increasing its size, expanding it up through the shoulders and neck and down through the stomach. Continue to expand and intensify the feeling until it encompasses your whole being. Next, begin to gently push your awareness even past the physical boundaries of your body, radiating your awareness as if being a shining sun. Now I'd like you to visualize millions of light rays infused with your goodness, compassion, and joy, radiating out from you in every direction. Breathe and relax into the experience, letting your radiance envelop you, your room, and the world. Now simply bask in the warmth and peace of your own goodness, letting it nourish and revitalize you. Envision yourself as the bird with no need to validate its worth. Imagine yourself like the flower, complete and whole in what it is. Breathe and appreciate your own magnificence just as you are. And reflect on the freedom and potential that's available to you in every moment. Now, use this feeling of shining as your object of meditation for the next few minutes. If your mind wanders away from the feeling of your shining, gently bring it back. slowly begin to come back. Take a moment to observe how you feel. And as you arise from your meditation, take with you into your day this shining radiance you've cultivated. And through the clear realization of the miracle of your existence at every moment, shine, shine, shine in everything you do. And we have an affirmation for you to use throughout the week to aid in your shining. Today, I will appreciate my true value and the miracle of my existence. I will embrace awakening as the true purpose and consummation of my life. I will delight in the freedom and potential available to me in every moment. Today, I will stop struggling against reality and embrace the mystery and wonder of life. I will use my breath to ground myself in the stillness of the present moment. I will recognize, cultivate, and radiate my innate goodness in everything I do. I am the bird. I am the flower. I am that which requires no embellishment. From this realization, my awakened activity spontaneously and effortlessly shines forth. Oh man, is that pretty. One of my best works. Any questions? Oh, I got one more to share with you, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I do. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Give me a second here. We got one more aid to your practice, and that is you can use our 3-breath meditation that we share with everybody with mantra to help. The 3-breath meditation is a real simple little meditative break. Just like it sounds, you take 3 full mindful breaths. Usually you close your eyes, you get a good posture. You take 3 full mindful breaths, and it's amazing how much it works to transform your awareness. So in this one, we're going to use a mantra with it. So on inhale, you say present silently to yourself. At the top of your inhale, you say aware. And on exhale, you say shine. So anytime you need to inspire yourself, you can use this. You want to try it together? Let's do a round of it. I would do 3 breaths. Okay, everybody. On inhale, go ahead and inhale while silently saying present. At the top, aware. On exhale, shine. Let's do another. Inhale, present. At the top, aware. Exhale, shine. One more time. Inhale, present. Aware, shine. I'll make these slides available to everyone after class. That's a really pretty practice. Does anybody have any questions about the practice of shining? I had to take the intensity down on my screen. You guys are shining so bright. I did see a lot of smiles in that meditation. David, please.
It's amazing how I can forget things. The practice of shining is just totally wonderful. I haven't thought about it for 6 months or something ridiculous like that.
Since the last time, yeah.
Probably the last time. Yeah.
That's why we do the program twice a year.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You look like you're enjoying yourself. One thing I didn't mention in my presentation, which is obvious, is that another place we shine is in and through our practice, right? Um, Shining, I'm teaching it as a practice, but enough hours on the cushion, it just happens, right? But the idea is if we actually practice it, we can get to these more awakened states faster. But yeah, you practice enough. Great meditators always shine. It is part of our nature. It radiates from us. Because what prevents us from shining? All the self-doubt and self-criticism and not believing in ourselves. That's why we talk about you can only shine through a positive, a confident kind of attitude. Yeah. So it's definitely naturally occurring in practice. Oh, so if there are no questions, let's get to our closing thoughts. Today we learned the practice of shining. We learned how to shine, when to shine, and why we should shine, and that shining naturally arises from the realization and appreciation of our true value, our true potential, and our true nature. It then radiates from us as an attitude, style, or spirit towards life. Shining is a felt experience. You don't think about shining, you just shine. Shining is only possible through a positive, open, non judgmental attitude. We begin to shine by calming down, slowing down, and letting go of our grasping, especially our negativity and self-doubt, self-criticism. Remember that all of the various practices we've taught in this teaching series are simply tools and skills for your toolbox. You're always in control over how and when you use them. The true gift that we're offering is freedom of choice, the choice on how you choose to use these tools to shape your life in whatever way you see fit. All of the practices we've shared require both understanding and skill to apply them effectively. But in addition, they require knowing the proper depth in which to apply them. We've often talked in this series about having this intensity knob or dial in which we choose the strength of application of any certain practice. This week, this is for lessons 11 and 12. This week we'll be focusing on study, contemplation, and meditation of what we learned about the meaning of life. We'll be practicing and experimenting with our main practice of shining. You can begin to implement your full toolbox of skills. Remember to continue to cultivate your threefold training. And when challenges arise, you have your 4 steps of acceptance. For daily affirmations, you're all now graduated to the skillful living level daily practice. Congratulations, which can be downloaded on our website. I don't like to just post the daily practice sheet, because if you go to the download library, there's a lot of choices on application. I have the full study guide, Skillful Living Study Guide. We also have shorter practice guides just for daily practice. We have them in dark mode and regular mode, and also we have those recorded on audio. So if you're running late, you can listen to your affirmations in the car, or maybe you like to recite them at the same time you listen to them. But you have a lot of choices there. So I'm not going to be posting them to social media. I want you to go to the download page. It's like the second block of downloads there, so you can find that easily. I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody for participating in the program. The SBT Skillful Living program was created to offer practitioners the knowledge and skills to improve and flourish in their lives. I hope you now feel a part of the SBT community and you'll continue to learn and grow with us. It's been an honor to share the Buddha's wisdom with everyone. And although this is our final class, our program isn't over. We're still practicing together throughout the rest of the week. Our Sunday teachings are going to take a slight hiatus. We usually would go back into our Secular Buddhist Essentials program, but I'm going to be moving to Asheville, North Carolina, and I could use a little bit of free time. It's not just the classes require a lot of writing and preparation. So I'm going to need some free time in my move. But we do have our daily online meditations for everyone, and our fall curriculum is going to be starting up pretty soon, and that's going to be in just a few weeks. We're going to be getting back to our introduction to meditation programs. There's three of them, three different levels, and then we also have two different classes of mind training, which is the cultivation of the altruistic mind of awakening. Everybody can come, and the classes are designed to generate compassion, love, and kindness for all beings. So those are pretty. You can read all about those from our website. Um, and remember that I'm always a click away for help and support. And please continue to engage with us on our WhatsApp group. Any questions you have about these practices, you can find answers there. And lastly, I'd like to once again remind everybody that although our programs are and always will be free, our work does rely on donations to continue. So if you've enjoyed the program and you wish to ensure that it remains available to others, consider making a donation on our website, sbtonline.org. My final advice to all of you is to shine, shine, shine in all that you do. Shine with goodness, beauty, and joy. Shine with appreciation and wonder. Shine softly, but shine brightly. And let your benevolent true nature shine through. With that said, let's end today's last class with our altruistic affirmation. Now, I'd like to point out at the end of our class, our program, I think this affirmation sounds a lot different than it did the first time we shared it at the beginning. Right now, you really kind of understand the line. So let's do it a little slower. May all be healthy. May all be prosperous. May all be well. May all be present, free of past regret and future worry. May all abide in constant appreciation, which is the source of such great joy and contentment. And may all realize their true nature and the true nature of reality, which is awakening. May they all realize their true value, their true potential, and their true nature. And may they all learn how to shine. Thanks for coming and participating, everybody. Boy, did I have fun. We're going to share this program again in the winter. And this is one of those programs that you want to take over and over again. Our whole Sangha practices this together twice a year to keep all of these wonderful practices fresh in our minds. And every time you do the program, you get such a deeper understanding of the material. And it all translates into your default mindset. and you start to really habituate all the programs. Lastly, remember that the SBT community was created for one purpose. I started all of this for one purpose, because I wanted to support wonderful practitioners like you. Bye-bye, friends.
Thank you, Tarpa.